Well, 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 strangers, friends, and family alike. It looks like we got another bit of Blue Protocol news. I'm not gonna complain. I guess the live stream had happened, the dev live stream, and it was for 6.3, so we're gonna dive right into it. We're gonna look into it. Blue Protocol database has all the information, so if you guys want to read it yourself, I'll have the link in the description below, but let's dive into it. So, to start off, I'm not going to read everything out loud. I mean, a lot of it's going to be just stuff that probably isn't as important, but there is information. Anything that I don't read, feel free to look, like I said, in the description below. But let's get right into the server infrastructure and errors that happened within, the tests that had happened, a couple weeks ago now. The server infrastructure appears to have been experienced several issues. When the servers were opened, there was an unending loading problem. Additionally, maintenance was required for the Astralis servers. Network tests yielded errors 101, 103, and 104. Error 101 was attributed to a problem with Windows, while error 104 was caused by various issues such as a lack of location to load into. Despite these issues, the team was able to obtain the desired test results and the test was deemed stable. Wow, that's actually really nice. Hopefully that gives us hope for, future stuff, especially with the closed beta probably coming up pretty quickly for, North America and global areas. We got the anti-cheat software and banned accounts. The backend tools and systems have several functions to maintain the game's integrity. The tools can be used to check the status of characters, such as if they are stuck, and take necessary actions. Additionally, there are security solutions in place that allow and deny certain software while the game is launched. This is done to prevent cheating and ensure fair gameplay. If a player is caught cheating, they can be banned via account termination to maintain the integrity of the game, as shown during the network tests. I like that. I don't want to grind this game and, end up being at the bottom of the leaderboards because people were cheating. So especially if there's gonna be some kind of leaderboard, it'll be nice to see, someone taking accountability if if there is cheaters. So that's not too bad for me. I'm sure a lot of people will be happy about that, and there's probably people that aren't happy about that. So party changes and viral dev comments. Party changes, I would presume they're gonna. I don't know what they could change about that. Parties seem pretty straightforward, but there are two separate issues that have been addressed. Firstly, there were abnormalities in the party conditions, which caused parties not to form under certain conditions. The development team has confirmed these issues and is currently working on a fix. Why is English so hard sometimes? Holy crap. Secondly, adjustments are being made to balance the gameplay. The team is making steps to ensure that the game is fair and enjoyable for all players. Additionally, there was a viral comment made by Fukuzaki regarding the NT, which has garnered a lot of attention from the gaming community. I don't know what the NT is, but let's see. Oh, the network test. Okay, that makes sense. For the lucky few that got the chance to chat with the developers of Blue Protocol during the network test, developer director Fukuzaki had some choice words to say to fellow players. The following text was captured from in-game chat system. Let's see. We had a goal for the release. It'll depend on the results of this time how much we'll actually do. I think we're trying to hurry as much as possible though. Personally, I definitely want to improve the adventure board, the drop rates, the gathering stuff, especially the shrooms. Battle score not being affected by item level sync is a wrong setting or rather a wrong formula. We'll definitely fix that. We're progressing by separating into things that definitely have to be resolved at release, and things that can be fixed with further updates. Okay. Is it gonna let me go back? Oh, there we go. We don't need to do that. There we go. Cool. So that's kind of good to hear that. Like, it's nice to see that the devs are actually, conversing amongst players and making sure that everything's okay. Here's some fun statistics. I did take a peek at this earlier and it had me laughing a little bit with my wife. Player and character statistical breakdown. The character gender ratio skews heavily towards female characters, with approximately 75% of the characters being female and 25 male. that doesn't surprise me. Like I said in another video, MMORPG stands for Most Men Roleplay Girls Online. So we're gonna throw that one in there again. Body types. Oh, dang! I didn't realize we had more. Oh, dang. Okay, so we can tell by the body types. So I'm pretty sure the first one was like your standard average female character. The second one was more adult, and then the third one was kind of a lolly-esque style. We can see that the more adult one, if I recall, is, I could be wrong. It's been a little while since I've looked at at which one was which. I don't remember exactly, but almost 50% went for the more adult look. Excuse me. When comparing specific parts of character creation, such as face, 1, 2, 3, and body size, the development team has taken various factors into account. They have created different options for players to choose from, including different body sizes such as small, medium, and large. Additionally, the default character look and the Blade Warden creation seem to be the most popular combinations during the test. Perhaps these testers had gameplay and system testing as a priority, rather than making their characters look visually appealing and to their liking. That is actually a reasonable, I think that's pretty reasonable to think. But I also do think there wasn't a lot of options, so I do have a feeling that it was just probably more skewed to those settings, honestly. Network test. Class popularity. Now, before I even read, I'm gonna guess the Breaker was the least popular class. Like, it's a bit of a weird weapon. It's like the hunting horn of Monster Hunter, so let's see. During the testing phase, the development team collected data on class creation based on the levels that players reached. Approximately 6.2 of the players were able to reach level 20 during the test period. This data provided insight into the popularity of the Blade Warden class among players who had advanced further into the game. So, oh man, these symbols are hard. Okay, level 1, Blast. I'm gonna assume that's Blast Archer. Mage. I'm gonna assume that's Blade Warden right there, Twin Striker, and our Breaker class. So Mage was actually, at level 1, Mage was a lower percentage than the Breaker, which is, I was not expecting. But at level 10, Breaker goes down, and then it just goes down even further. It's interesting to see that Twin Striker had such a low percentage too, but the Blade Warden being the highest. Tower and arena clear rates. 4.6 of the players attempted the Endless Tower with a clear rate of 80.2% for those who attempted for the instance. 3.7 of the players attempted Arena Rush Battle with a clear rate of 95.8% for those who attempted the instance. Okay. Echo crafting player percentage. Is this like what type of echoes were made? The picture described the crafting of echoes in the game. The top left spider echo is one of the later echoes only 0.82% of the players in the network test were able to craft, while the boar was able to be crafted by 9.08 of the players because the materials had more generous drop rates. In addition, the cat echo was only crafted by 0.08 of players due to the unknown nature of obtaining the recipe. Interesting. Post-network test changes. Okay, this is where I'm a little bit curious. I want to know what they are planning on changing and what they're going to keep. So, the development team has been working on several adjustments to improve the gameplay experience. One of these adjustments is the change to the heal over time system in the field. Players will now be able to heal slowly over time when not in combat, with the healing rate being higher while seated. Additionally, there have been adjustments made to the HP potion resources to balance the game. The team has also been fixing various issues that have been found in safe zones to ensure that players have a safe and fair gameplay experience. Whew, okay. During the testing phase, it was observed that the Keen Strider class had a leg up from the other classes in regards to healing themselves outside of combat, while players playing other classes had to make a big commitment to go back to town or a camp to replenish their supplies. This was not an issue for the Keen Strider class due to their ability to heal themselves outside of combat. Okay, that makes sense. Furthermore, there were some issues found in the safe zones, particularly in Bergmal, where players had to interact with NPCs to complete quests. This made it difficult when enemies were attacking players in the safe zone. The development team is working to address these issues and provide a more balanced and enjoyable gameplay experience for players. Interesting. Okay, so there's a lot to take from that. I mean, I didn't know, obviously, that there was no healing in field. I do like the idea that you had to have a camp or something like that, but I also understand the inconvenience for a lot of players. So I think that's relatively a good change. Then in safe zones, monsters attacking you in safe zones, that's just always humorous. But I digress, as always. Elite monsters and dungeon drop rate modifications. The development team has made some changes to the game's mechanics to provide a better experience for players. Elite monsters have had their HP values nerfed, while their attack values have been buffed. This is to ensure that the monsters remain challenging but not overly difficult. The team is continuing to test and adjust the numbers to ensure that players do not encounter monsters that die too quickly. Furthermore, the team has boosted the drop rate of items in hard dungeons based on player feedback. A survey conducted by the team revealed that players felt that the drop rates were too low. To address this, the team has implemented changes to increase the numbers of drops in hard dungeons. These changes are aimed at making the game more rewarding and enjoyable for players. There's a lot to take from that one personally. Like, there's a great example of listening to your player base and it doesn't work. I do like the idea that you listen to your player base but you still make rational judgments, which it sounds like is what they're doing. But from my understanding, playing New World, you had the closed beta. The combat, everything felt really good. The game felt really good in New World during the CBT. But people were complaining that people that grinded combat instead of life skills were killing people that were max level at a way lower level because their skills were higher. I think that was a bad change, but that was because they listened to the streamers who were complaining about dying because they were already a higher level than, for example, me at level 12 and them being at level 20 and I could kill them because I outplayed them and I had better weapon skills and stuff like that. But that's just something that kind of comes off the head as like listening to your player base. We'll see if this actually does the same thing, because I'd be worried that like maybe the drop rates will end up getting us to endgame too fast and then they won't have content. But also having too much of a grind can turn off people, and it's not exactly great either. Okay, let's take a deep breath. I'm gonna take a sip of my water. Excuse me. So, one of the primary issues they have addressed. Sorry, let me change. Class changes. One of the primary issues they have addressed is the ease with which players could be targeted during combat. The issue which affected aggro generation has been fixed, making combat more engaging and challenging. Each class has also received some ability changes to improve balance and gameplay. For instance, the Blade Warden's aggro dragging skill was initially weak at low levels. The team has improved this skill by adding the provoke effect. Similarly, the Twin Striker's tactical skills cooldown was reduced, and most tactical skills received a damage boost. Last Waltz, a tactical skill that activates when HP is low, has been changed to activate at 70% HP instead of 33% HP. That's a huge change. All classes receive cooldown adjustments to improve gameplay. The Spellweaver uses EP, mana, and most tactical skills have received a damage buff, with Blizzard being buffed the most. The team has also made concentration, EP/mana charging, more effective, allowing players to cast some skills almost all the time in some cases. However, players should be careful when generating aggro. Does that mean they're saying like when you're generating mana that it creates aggro? I'm not too sure. Keenstrider and Foebreaker have also received some improvements. Keenstrider's tactical skills. Why is that so weird for me? Keenstrider and Foebreaker have also received some improvements. Keenstrider's tactical skills cooldowns have been reduced, and their heals from actions and tactical skills have been increased. Foebreaker has received some tactical skills cooldown reduction to improve gameplay. These changes are aimed at creating a more balanced and enjoyable experience for all players. Seems just some standard balancing, which is nice. Still insane for Twin Striker to be 70% instead of 33%. That's a pretty big percentage difference. Overworld drop rate adjustments. The drop rate for rare enemy drops has been increased. Initially, the drop rates were designed for players to party up hunting for materials, but since parties weren't formed as often in certain social situations, some adjustments are planned for field play. However, partying is still intended to be the preferred way to gather your materials. In addition, some gathering spots are now guaranteed to drop a specific material. It can be frustrating to gather from a spot repeatedly without getting the item you need, so spots are guaranteed while others will remain based on RNG. I don't play in a party a lot of the time, just because I like to try to get stuff done, and then when I'm doing like dungeons and raids, then I'll party. So that does, I'm sure it's going to turn off a lot of people, the fact that like party play is, required. It even says in one of their trailers that like solo play is viable. I hope that what they're saying is like they made it more viable for solo play, and just parties just mean you'll be able to have a higher chance because you're killing at a higher rate. I think that's probably what they're saying. Adventure rank and player level conflict. The level cap, which was previously based on adventure rank, has been removed. It was frustrating to accumulate player leveling EXP without ranking up your adventure rank first. The adventure rank up system was designed to be easier if you created the recommended enhanced echoes, but it turned out to be challenging. Players were unable to progress without clearing early content. As a result, the level cap has been lifted, enabling players to level up more quickly to clear the adventure rank system. Interesting. So I guess basically, I'm level 5 in my adventure rank, but I haven't done the thing to increase it, so I can't increase my player level. I guess that's what they're saying. I'm glad. That sounds like a good change. I can't really speak 100%. Adventure rank and adventure board. The adventure board has undergone some changes, with the left side representing the old version and the right side representing the new one. The top left board is still dedicated to rank up quests, while the bottom left is for weapon quests and the right is for enhanced echo quests. The good news is that obtaining rare items for the recipes has become much easier, as some of them are now on the main route. Overall, the adventure board has been revamped to make it easier for players to progress through the game. Okay, that's straightforward. Content difficulty and player endgame wishes. The developers had mentioned that players will still be able to craft the desired item after completing the board. The team wants to create more fun boards and a fun story by adjusting the rewards as well. However, the game is beyond the scope of this topic. My bad. However, the end game is beyond the scope of this topic, and they will talk more about it when they can announce the roadmap. The team mentioned that they won't change every single aspect of what was requested without a lot of data to warrant a change, which the developers are well aware of, the pain points testers exclaimed. They also stated that they are not intending to make some aspects overly hard, and they will continue to make changes. Finally, the team mentioned that there won't be another network test. No! Darn! Shoot! Well, that's okay. As long as we still get our network test in NA, I'll be okay. Conclusion. In conclusion, the BP Communication 7.0 is tentatively scheduled for late May of 2023, so keep your eyes out for that stream. Let's see. And that's pretty straightforward. So thank you, Nico, for writing that. Thank you for reviewing it. Oh man, I'm gonna butcher that. Persiculum and graphic designs, by Ashley's and Sugi. Well, thank you. I appreciate it. And hopefully we'll get to cover more of this in the future for Blue Protocol content anyways. With that being said, I'll leave the database down in the description below. If you guys have any questions, any concerns, feel free to let me know. We're going to be covering this more often, and we'll eventually have some kind of, maybe, better way of doing this. But for now, I'm not feeling that great. This is the easiest format. That's what I'm going to do. Have a good one. Take care. Cheers. And this is Gio signing out. Cheers again.